So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. So, if you haven't been as fascinated as I am about the tombs and different things, man, discoveries and all that kind of stuff, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Check your pulse. I always tell y'all that. Check your pulse. Make sure you're still breathing, because that's where we hit it back to today. It's back to the tombs, man. This is the top 10 horrifying things recovered from ancient tombs, bruh. Horrifying things recovered. That tells us a lot about the past and what was going on and all that kind of stuff like that. So this always excites me, intrigues me, man, to learn and discover different things, all right? So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Join the fam. Hit that bell, notifications, all that type of stuff, man, so you can know when the videos drop. And then once you do that, join us in a moment of silence. This is what we like to do for the haters out there, all right? Moment of silence for the haters. That's enough. Now, run the likes up. Make sure y'all hit that like button. And here we go.
From mummies of humans to mummies of animals and all of the interesting and fascinating things that come along with unearthing tombs from thousands of years ago. On today's list, we are going to be covering part 2 of the top 10 horrifying things recovered from ancient tombs. Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have KV55. This is a tomb that is referred to by a number rather than a name because we don't actually know who lies inside of the tomb. While this tomb had its modern discovery in 1907, we still haven't quite found the answers surrounding this mystery. To make things a little more eerie, while the walls of the actual tomb are bare, which is bizarre, as you walk down the steps towards the tomb, you'll notice that there are some markings leading up to it. You'll see inscribed on the wall of the entrance the words which can be translated to, quote, "The evil one shall not live again."
So that's a warning. To me, I take that as a warning. I'm walking down. Look at it. Look at this. Hold on. Let me go right to it. Look at that. And they're writing things. So I'm feeling like they're trying to warn you. Listen, bro. Don't go down here. Leave this alone. Okay? We're telling you, leave that alone down. It's nothing but evil down there. And people still go down there. And then you wonder why things happen to you. You open that tomb, you release all these whatever, and then stuff start happening to you, life start changing, all kind of stuff like that. They tried to warn you the best way they knew how, by marking up the walls and telling you, warning you, and you still kept going.
You'll notice that there are some markings leading up to it. You'll see inscribed on the wall of the entrance the words which can be translated to, quote, "The evil one shall not live again." If this wasn't enough to give you an unsettling feeling, the coffin inside of the tomb has been desecrated, with part of the face having been removed as well. So all in all, we don't know a lot about what's going on down there, but it doesn't seem good.
It looked like the Predator, didn't it? Like the Predator.
So
no disrespect. I say that respectfully.
in all, we don't know a lot about what's going on down there, but it doesn't seem good.
No.
In our number 9 spot today, we have chapter 17. Archaeologists had a large and very exciting discovery as the 4,200-year-old funerary temple of Queen Nerit, who was the wife of the pharaoh Teti, was found. The recently excavated Saraka necropolis was stocked full of incredible treasures. Inside, there were over 50 wooden sarcophagi, there was a board game, a riverboat with rowers, statues, wooden masks, a shrine dedicated to the god of the dead Anubis, and there was a burial sanctuary dedicated to the queen. And while all of these are truly unbelievable finds, one of the most fascinating to researchers was a scroll from the Book of the Dead. The 13-foot-long papyrus scroll, which is referred to as chapter 17 of the Book of the Dead, acts as a chilling guide to the afterlife. In our number 8 spot today, we have golden tongues. A team was working at a temple on the outskirts of the Egyptian city Alexandria when they discovered 16 burials in rock-cut tombs. It was here that they found some mummies that unfortunately had been poorly preserved over the last 2,000 years, but it was what they found with these mummies that was exceptionally interesting. Inside a few of the mummies' mouths were golden tongues nestled inside of their jawbones. It is thought that the dead were given these gold foil amulets that were shaped like tongues so that they could speak before the court of the god Osiris in the afterlife.
Golden tongues. In order for you to speak with the gods, you had to have a golden tongue. Like, think of the mindsets back then, man. And then there was probably only a select few in this club that received those, like, a golden tongue. I thought that was gonna be like oh, they got golden tongues. These tongues were dipped in gold after they were cut from people who had either spoken bad about the queen or something like that. That would have, I would have understood. It still don't make it right. It still ain't good. It's still, when you think about it, it's still crazy. But that would have made a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? But to be able to talk to the guys in the afterlife, that's different.
Tongues so that they could speak before the court of the god Osiris in the afterlife. Osiris is the god of fertility, agriculture, the afterlife, the dead, resurrection, life, and vegetation, and he was also the judge of the dead, so it is imperative that those headed to the afterlife impress him. When we break it down and understand why these gold tongues might have been placed with the bodies, it becomes less of a horrifying discovery and more of an absolutely fascinating one. In our number 7 spot,
so he decides your fate even in the afterlife, whether or not you proceed forth to riches and goals or you proceed not to that lifestyle. Not none of those treasures and gifts and abundance. No, it's pain and suffering and all that kind of stuff like that. So yeah. So what do you got to do now? Now my mind shifts to, what do I got to do to receive a gold tongue? Do I got to battle for it? Do I got to, you know what I mean, combat anything? What I gotta do? Because if you grow up thinking that, think about what, it's like a lot of things that we deal with today, and you're brought up thinking, depending on how you were raised, and that type of stuff is ingrained to you, so you know nothing else. So you probably spend your entire life trying to get a golden tongue.
But today we have 5,000-year-old tombs. While researchers were working in the Dakalia province in the area where the Nile River drains into the Mediterranean Sea, they found something unbelievable. It was here that they unearthed tombs that were over 5,000 years old. 68 tombs from 3,300 BC during the Buto period were located, along with 5 that were from 3,100 BC during the Nakata III period. Some of the Buto tombs were found with the human remains in a squatting position, while the Nakata period vessels were more cylindrical and pear-shaped. This cemetery combines some of the earliest periods of Egyptian history along with some of the most important eras. Other cool things found in this area included ovens, stoves, pottery vessels, as well as amulets and scarabs, some of which were made out of semi-precious stones. In our number 6 spot today we have Marcus. Inside the necropolis of Porto Sarno, which was found in the ancient Roman city of Pompeii, a tomb was found which held the remains of Marcus Venerius Secundio, and these remains are the best preserved ones ever found in ruins. The partially mummified remains included hair and bones and even a partial ear, and they belonged to Marcus, who was a former slave who was able to rise through the ranks. This discovery was unusual because tests showed that Marcus died around the age of 60, and during Roman times, adults were usually cremated. After being freed from slavery, Marcus was able to join a college of priests who were in charge of a form of emperor worship. Being buried inside of a tomb is a reflection of the fact that when he passed, he was in good social and economic standing. It is believed that this tomb dates back decades before the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD destroyed Pompeii. In our number 5 spot today we have Tomb Storeroom. During the excavations of a 2,600-year-old vast necropolis that sits just south of Cairo, researchers unearthed a tomb, of course, or else why would I be talking about it right now? But here's the thing about this specific tomb. It had a storeroom that was housing about 24 mummies. The tomb was located at the bottom of a 36 feet deep shaft, and the 22 mummies were found along the tomb walls. The mummies are believed to date back to 640 BC during the 26th dynasty, which was Egypt's last independent kingdom. Many of the mummies were unfortunately poorly preserved, so their identities as well as the reason why so many were put into one room is left as a bit of a mystery. In our number 4 spot today we have a Bronze Age tomb. Imagine you're a farmer in Ireland and one day you're just minding your own business and somehow manage to stumble upon an ancient tomb that's basically been untouched for thousands of years. Well, that's pretty much exactly what happened when a burial site was uncovered on southwest Ireland's Dingle Peninsula. Inside this site, researchers found human bones along with items that may give us some insights into prehistoric burial and death rituals. This tomb is believed to date back to the Bronze Age, but unlike other tombs from the time, this one was completely underground, which means that it may be even older than once suspected. The tomb was found during some land improvement work when literally a stone was turned over and it revealed the chamber underneath. In our number 3 spot today, we have mice. A couple years ago in 2019, as archaeologists were searching through a well-preserved and beautifully painted tomb that had been found in the Egyptian town of Sohag, the tomb is thought to be from around 2,000 years ago and was built for a man named Tutu and his wife. Other than the human mummies that were found inside of this tomb, researchers also found animal mummies, including dozens of mummified mice.
Animal mummy. So why? Why? I hope she makes this make sense.
Researchers also found animal mummies, including dozens of mummified mice. This tomb is one of 7 that were found in the area after authorities found smugglers digging illegally for artifacts, which honestly sounds like it should be the plot of a movie. While I'm sure these kinds of discoveries are insanely important and helpful for all kinds of researchers, finding dozens of mummified animals along with human mummies probably isn't the nicest discovery there's ever been.
Okay, but why? What are you saying by mummifying a mouse? What did you believe that? That one's messing me. I don't understand. Yeah, if y'all know, I'm gonna have to do some research on my own on that one to see why. What was the reasoning behind that? That's gonna bother me.
Number 2 spot today, we have a gibbon skull. Gibbons are a type of ape that are often characterized by their swinging ability coupled with their loud, bright calls, and the 8th century Chinese poet Li Bai described their voices as they swung past the Yangtze River. But here's the thing. Today, there are no gibbons that live anywhere near the river. Also, the gibbons that exist now have different fur patterns from the ones that are often depicted in classical Chinese paintings. This has led experts to believe that there must have been another kind of gibbon that has now vanished, and physical evidence of this kind of gibbon might have turned up in the most unexpected place. A tomb. This tomb, which was built for the grandmother of the first emperor of China nearly 2,300 years ago, contained a skull and a jawbone so distinct that scientists believe they must belong to this member of the now extinct gibbon genus. Many surviving gibbon species are now facing extinction, so it is likely that there were others in the past who unfortunately faced the same kind of fate. And our number 1 spot today, we have canopic jars. This is a discovery that is actually quite a common find in tombs, but that doesn't make it a pleasant one, although there is a reasonable explanation behind this. Canopic jars are often found in tombs, and in 2018, in the tomb of Karabaskin, which was found on the west bank of Luxor, there were some well-preserved jars found. The jars were made of Egyptian alabaster, and they most likely held viscera. That's right, folks, these jars usually held the organs of the person inside of the tomb. They were
okay. I was thinking something totally different as to reasoning what that could possibly be. Like maybe holding jewels or something that they may have thought, you know what I mean, you could take with you to the afterlife. So I was thinking that, you know, you hear about some of them having like jewels and different things on their bodies. Maybe that was extra jewels or some other type of thing that they wanted them to. The organs though. Let's see why. Why?
That's right, folks. These jars usually held the organs of the person inside of the tomb. They were used during the mummification process in order to store and preserve the organs so that they could be used in the afterlife. There wasn't just one jar, but rather a jar for specific organs. While in modern times,
what organ do y'all want to take with you to the afterlife? Like, which organ would it be?
this is a gruesome discovery, it's also absolutely fascinating to see how people of the past cared for those who have passed away, as well as seeing how strong the belief in the afterlife used to be. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out.
Yeah, and I hope they waited till they were, you know, done to get those organs and put them in that, whatever you call it. But, man, I was thinking something totally different. So when she said organ, I was like, oh, you automatically like try to go there in your mind to think what they were thinking or see what they were trying to do. But they really placed thought into that afterlife. You know what I mean? Going to the afterlife and having this, that, and the third with you. your jewels, maybe whatever valuables and different things. So that's why when I saw the part about the mice, and I'm not saying that it may have been negative, it could have been something that they looked at mice and was like, you need this in the afterlife. I don't know. But I definitely want to look up and figure that out. So y'all get at me in the comment section, man. Top 10 horrifying things recovered from ancient tombs. Man, I told y'all, the tombs are fascinating. All of that history is fascinating. You know what I mean? What was I doing in high school? I don't know. Why wasn't I paying attention to get this fascinating information? I don't know. But it seems like at this stage of my life, I'm into it. So I'm going to continue to look at videos, man, and dive down this rabbit hole. So if you're with me, give me a like and stick around and stay tuned, man. Till the next reaction, I'm gone. Peace.